Hello, and welcome to the very first edition of Midmo Yo. I ended up making this channel because I fell in love with the game of craps actually not too long ago. And because of it, I really started digging into it. And of course, with the power of YouTube, found out that there was an awful lot of channels out there that were talking about craps and strategies. So I started really getting into watching those videos and found out that I really started liking them a lot. I felt like I wanted to be part of that community. So this is kind of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now. Starting my own channel, explaining my version of what I'm doing, excuse me, and explaining what I did here and explaining the aspects of my practice table. What I would like to do is to grow this channel into something where I could get all kinds of feedback from comments from people that are going to give me their advice, give me their strategies that they play, and maybe I'll even start playing them on my table on the camera. So I'm going to turn the camera around. By the way, my name is Chiro, but my channel is Midmo Yo. It's a little bit easier to remember Midmo Yo than my name. But I'm going to turn the camera a little bit here, show you my table. Forgive me, this is my very first video on YouTube. So I'm doing it very bare bones with a smartphone and a little tripod. I mean, guys, I even taped the phone to the tripod. I mean, that's how bare bones it is. So let me turn this and show you what I got going on, and I'm going to explain exactly what I did here. All right. So there is my table. Now, some of you are going to say, wait a minute, that looks like a crapless craps table. And you would be semi-correct, actually. What I ended up doing was when I fell in love with craps about 2 years ago, roughly about 2 years ago, maybe a little longer than that. But when I fell in love with it, I played at a casino where it was the only table that was available was a crapless craps table. So it's how I learned. I don't necessarily play it, crapless craps at least. I don't necessarily play it all the time. Although I do like the option of crapless craps, especially for teaching somebody who is not familiar with craps. So it is a little bit easier. You don't have to worry a lot about things. Now the difference with my table is that it is crapless craps because it has the numbers 2 through 12 except for Big Red, of course. But and for those who don't know, Big Red is number 7, by the way. We just don't really like to say that. That's the unlucky number. So on a crapless craps table, it doesn't have the don't pass and the don't come. It's not part of the table. So that's why I added it to mine, because really all I have to do is to cover up the 11, 12, 2, and 3, and I'm good to go on a regular craps table. If I do want to either play crapless craps or inform somebody how to play craps and show them on a crapless craps, I'm just going to let them know that this don't pass and don't come is not part of it, so we won't be even dealing with those bets. So let me show you exactly what I've got going on here, guys. And I'm going to move these chips, and I'm going to kind of break this down fairly quickly because I don't want to make this too long of a video. But you're going to notice here that it's a little bit unfinished. And the reason why it's unfinished, because it was finished at one point in time, I decided to remove the felt on both sides of my table, do something a little bit different that was under the felt, and then reapply the felt back on it. And I just have not finished this part of it. That is coming very, very soon. So let me explain this here. So really what I've got here is a table that is portable. Very portable. It's very long, though. You can actually tell. I mean, it's very long. I can't even remember how long it was. I think it's right at around 5 feet, maybe something like that, 6 feet. But what I ended up doing was making it to where it was very portable, so that way I can take it to parties. And and I've actually done that. It's kind of the reason why I built this table, was a New Year's Eve party. So I've got little latches on the side here. Once you detach the latches, you can take this off, and as you can see, I've got little pegs here that go into little sections in this other side of the table, and it allows me to break this down and take it with me and put it back together to where it's very rigid and sturdy and not flopping and wobbling around. Once I put these locks on, it actually is literally almost like it's one solid table again. You can almost lift this from one side and it doesn't go anywhere. So the thing about the table is I painted everything on here. So I'm getting to this point of the video because I wanted to explain that if I was going to do this again, I would probably not do it exactly the same way that I did this one. I love the fact that it's portable. I love the fact that it's unique in its design, and really it was kind of one of those projects that I commandeered the dining room table. My wife has been very patient. I love you, honey, by the way. But it sits on the dining room table really nice, but it could be placed on any table. I mean, you could have one of those, break apart little tables that fold out, and then you can just place this on here and you can be playing craps in a matter of minutes. So first things first, I want to give credit where credit is due. Almost everything you see on this table was color coordinated, not necessarily font coordinated, but color coordinated based off of one of my favorite guys on YouTube, which is Color Up. I believe it's Jeremy. I believe that's your name. I hope I got that right. Color Up was one of the videos that I just started going hog wild on all his videos and really just checking everything out that he had. The one thing I really liked about his videos, I believe that everybody else would agree, is that he doesn't do like editing during the rolls. He just plays it the way it is, no matter how bad or how good it looks, which is something that I think I'm going to be taking to my own videos as well, because I really like that aspect of it. But the color coordination was based off of his table. I watched so many of his videos, and when I started drawing up the design, I wanted to do something like his, and his was a black felt, which I really liked because all the colors popped off of the black. So that's what I decided to do. So thank you, Jeremy at Color Up. So you saw how this broke apart. I'm going to show you now the backboard where I actually throw the dice up against. This is something that is kind of fun because obviously it's not necessarily very portable. Let me try and push this down a little bit. There we go. It's not necessarily very portable when you have this big thing right here. But what I've done is, with the aid of some beautiful duct tape, black duct tape, and some Velcro, I've put these together. This was nothing more, guys. I'm not joking. This was nothing more than the Dollar Tree. They're foam boards for projects, kids projects or whatever. I got 2 of the black ones, glued them together, put some black duct tape on the end just to make it look clean. And then I was at Lowe's and got some really good Velcro. And I cut it to the pieces that you see here. And it allows me to break it apart. I'm going to take this one down as well, too. It allows me to break it apart. And this right here, I've also got to strengthen it up, just the little things. This is by no means something that is permanent, guys, obviously. This is just a practice portable table that I can have fun with. And it was a lot of fun building. you know, I don't have the specs. I mean, I ended up doing this probably about 3 months ago. And I just did it piece by piece, hand by hand, and just really started working it and making it look as good as I could, with the intentions of it being a usable craps table. So this is how I ended up building it. And it's the one thing though I do have to say is that it's a little bit on the heavy side for a portable table. So if I had to take a guess, I mean, it's probably every bit of 20 pounds, if not more, especially when you're thinking about putting all your chips and all your gear in there that is going to, you know, aid playing a game. So this is my table, guys, or girl. Sorry, I don't want to discriminate there. So let me explain something here. The one thing that I don't like about this table is the bumps. Obviously, when I am raking the dice across the table, sometimes they actually turn just because of the bumps. They do not turn at the seam here. I actually have this to where you don't even really feel the seam. So the dice actually run smoothly across the seam where the two tables separate. But what they do is, because of the way I did this, there was several layers of paint. Like on here, I had to start with white, and then I had to do yellow, and then I had to do yellow again because it wasn't as dark as I wanted it, and then I was doing the red up here. So what has happened is it's layered and layered and actually made humps and bumps. Now, granted, once the dice are rolled, and I know what the number is, not necessarily that big of a deal. I get that. But if I was going to do this differently, I did look up. The reason why I did it this way was because I was going off of stuff that I could very easily get. And what I could very easily get was stencils at Walmart. And these were the sizes. So really, guys, the size of this table was kind of based off of the size of stencils that I could get to do this. If you think about it, I wanted to make sure all of these squares in between the numbers were roughly, you know, the same exact size. Well, I had to put two numbers in here. If I only had to put one, obviously there's a lot of space in between them. I could have shortened this and made this table a lot smaller. But when it comes down to it, when you're putting two numbers in here, well, then it takes up that much more space. And I wanted it to look even all the way across. So that's why the table is as large as it is. I kind of like it though. I like the size of it. This thing right here is nothing more than a, you know, felt roller. I can actually just clean up, and it, you know, once it gets some hairs and some stuff on it, it actually works really, really well to remove that on there. So I ended up building this for a New Year's party, and the New Year's party ended up working out really well. Oh, there goes my camera's falling down. I told you it's taped up, guys. It ended up working really well for the party. In fact, everybody was really appreciative that I ended up doing it, which made me feel good. I actually liked that. The other cool thing was I was able to teach people how to play craps, and everybody really enjoyed that part of it. Now, I gotta say, I don't know everything. You heard me say it. I've only really gotten into this about 2 years ago. If you would have asked me 2 years before this, I would have told you, that looks really intimidating. There's way too many numbers and way too many things on that table. And it is really intimidating when you've never played it before. Having said that, finding out about it, and even more so teaching, let's say, like my wife, it is not that hard of a game to understand. It is more about understanding what happens when the dice are rolled in comparison to the bets that you have down. But as far as looking at everything that's on here, if you look at it as a whole, yeah, it is very intimidating without a doubt. I think even more so than roulette. Roulette's got all the numbers and everything. But this is not that hard, actually. It's one of those things where once you figure out a strategy, once you figure out what to do when things are going on, when the puck is either on off or on, that's when the game starts coming together in your brain. And from that point, it's really easy to start coming up with either your own personal favorite strategy or different strategies that are out there. Obviously, one of the most popular, the Iron Cross. Um, but, it's one of those games where once you learn it, it is amazing because you are in control of the dice. You are in control. Really, the dealers do one thing: either take your chips away or give you chips, and obviously give you the dice. They are this. It's like literally the only game that allows you to do every single thing. You're not up. You're not beating or trying to bet against dealers. You're not trying to bet against other players on the table. It is you and the dice. It reminds me of golf, and I love golf. It's you and the ball in golf, and getting it to the hole. It's you and the dice and the bets that you placed, and whether you place good bets or bad bets in comparison to how the dice roll. So that's why I love the game so much. Of course, I do love the aspect that you can win some money, but really, guys, when it comes to it, you do have to understand, and I'm sure you've heard this many times before, only gamble what you can. Don't be mortgaging the house or the kids' college funds. If you can afford it, great. If you can't, don't do it. It's not, do it on a practice table with some of your own chips and stuff. So don't go and be gambling your money if you can't do that. That's a stupid thing. So I just wanted to bring that up as well too. So guys, I'm going to end this video because I've already gone a little bit longer than I thought I was going to do. But I do want to tell you, if you could, I'm really trying to be part of this community, this craps community. So subscribing would be a huge help. Obviously, we all know this about YouTube videos. It makes everything. I'm not trying to do this to be the next Mr. Beats or, huge subscribers. I'm just I just want to be part of the craps community, and that's the reason why I'm doing this. So subscribing and liking the video, if you did like it, would be a big help in getting me to get this to where I want it to go, as well as comments. Guys, I'm going to tell you that's probably the biggest thing that I would like if you watch this video is comment. I don't care if it's good, bad. I mean, I'm going to learn, so I want you to tell me what you thought of what I was doing. I also want you to tell me, if you would like to, what other videos you would like me to do, because I am willing to when it comes to craps, different strategies. I'm also gonna probably be making a different table, not a crapless craps, but a regular one, which means I can actually shorten it. I'm thinking about using different materials to make it even lighter than this one. So, and I'll probably be doing that on video. So let me know what you guys think. If you could, please, like I said, this will be your second reminder to like, subscribe, and press that bell notification, because that way it identifies whether or not you get the video or not. And guys, I wanted to just say thank you. This was a lot of fun. It was a one roll. I'm not editing. I'm not going to do anything. This is going to be literally what happened is how I'm going to post it. So let me know if you liked it. Give me your opinions on different things. Maybe doesn't necessarily even have to be about craps. What did you think about how I talked? What did you think about how I presented it? Just all of your opinions will matter to me, and I will listen to them and I will respond. So thank you again. I appreciate it. And once again, this is Midmo Yo, and we'll see you next time.